Hello there, travelers, or want to be travelers, or just people who like to hear about travel. There is not a lot to talk about right now in travel, but I wanted to do a podcast because I am missing travel. Gary and I, my partner, and I are missing it and hoping in a few months we'll be able to travel again. We are in South Florida, and so it looks pretty bad right now with the COVID-19 situation. This is July 2020. But what I'm doing right now is enjoying. I guess I'm enjoying. Is it torture? I'm not sure which. Looking at pictures that come up as memories of what you were doing on this day last year or 5 years ago or longer even. And almost every day there is something that that comes up about travel. And I don't know about you, but um, travel makes me feel like I know more about not just a location, but about people. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about in this podcast. While I'm not talking specifically about a location, a destination, I want to talk about what what you experience when you travel. I think everyone goes off on a trip with a different expectation. Maybe it's a family vacation with where you're meeting family and you're all going to go somewhere together as your family, your extended family, friends, and you're going to party or you're going to have some kind of exotic adventure. You're going to explore a new area. I think what in all of my years of travel I have discovered, luckily for me, I discovered it early on, the very first big trip I ever did. Now, my family traveled, we took vacations, but my really first big trip off of the continental United States, was to an island in which was St. Thomas. And that particular trip was for 2 weeks, and it was St. Thomas and St. John. Stayed on both of those islands. Now, at 21 years old, you have a lot to learn, and I did. So I'm grateful for that experience at 21 because what I didn't know on that trip, post that trip, I clearly know, I clearly understand, and that is to make the most of it because you may never go back. Now, we have been back many, many times to both St. John and St. Thomas, but you never know if you will ever be back to that place again. You will never have the same experience. That's for sure. That goes without saying, of course. So, I think what we run into as we travel, are people that can never be happy. They're complaining about everything, or at least something. Granted, there are times when that is warranted, but I think if you don't expect it to be like home, if you if you go into a new culture and you embrace it and you put your timidity away and you break the ice of talking to local people, you you are so enriched by it. And unfortunately, not everyone chooses to do that. They want to blow and go and not stop enough to bother to find out about the local culture or the real places that people go. And so I'm looking forward to getting out there again and meeting more people and understanding the differences of where I live. Even across the country, we did a trip to Oregon one time, and we flew from Ohio, where we were living at that time, as opposed to South Florida, where we are now, to Portland, and then we drove US Highway 1 down to Seal Rock, and we had friends there, and it was like being a rock star on that trip. It really was. Um, and while we had a great time, the Spruce Goose is there, Howard Hughes plane that came up off the ground for a hot minute and then came back down and never saw the sky again. I really barely saw the sky that time. The vineyards that are there, it's gorgeous. And our friends lived in a gorgeous place. It was truly unforgettable. But what was also unforgettable, in Crater Lake, you've never seen water that blue. It's an inverted volcano, and it was very cold that day that we were there. The sun was shining. It was very cold, but that is the bluest water. It's like this royal blue. I mean, it's so blue. There's the blue of the sea. There's the blue of the Caribbean. I'm talking about this cobalt blue that is just unbelievably gorgeous. But some of the people we met in Oregon were quite curt and different. And that's okay. That's okay. We still tried to engage in restaurants and things when we were there. So you have to try your best, I think, or that's just my philosophy anyway, to understand that not everyone is going to embrace you with open arms, but many do. Many do, and they want to know about you. They want to know more about you, and giving them the opportunity to talk about themselves and where they live and all of that it's so enriching. And if we do get to travel in the fall, I really do hope that it's actually in just a couple of months that we're hoping to travel again, and I hope that I can pack appropriately, because I don't know about you, but packing is a challenge for me, and I think that I've done better over the years in bringing it down. But that very first trip, we landed in at JFK in New York, and we were going to be gone for 2 weeks, and we had so much luggage that um, you, and they didn't have wheels, so we had to maneuver this luggage all around Manhattan right off the bat on our way to go to the. We wanted to go to New York first, and then go to the Virgin Islands, and it was a freaking nightmare because we were lost some of the time, like in this luggage around. It was November, but it was still hot, and the sun shining down on those sidewalks. It was awful, and those bags were so heavy. And coming back, it was worse because I bought everything I could. I spent every dime. I bought every single thing, including a cast iron lantern. So yes, I have learned. I have learned so much in so many ways. But my packing is still a challenge, even from all those years ago when I was just 21, and the first really big trip. Also, what we've learned because of that very first trip is really be careful about your timing, because and even though Gary had done unbelievable planning for that trip, the morning that we left, that we were to get on American Airlines to fly to St. Thomas, our transportation, we were on a really tight budget, so we were taking a bus from Grand Central. We got to Grand Central. Now we've been to New York so many times. All of this seems so ludicrous, but at that time, it was deer in headlights kind of thing. And we got on a bus to the airport. Yes, we did. But we got on a bus that stopped at every single terminal at JFK. And American Airlines was last. And we thought we were going to have a heart attack and miss our plane. And we almost did. By the time we got to our gate, the plane was completely boarded. No one was in the waiting area. And you know how sometimes when you really do make an honest mistake and you have the best of intentions and you're just truly, genuinely clueless, you get the universe just throws you a little bone. And we got to travel first class to St. Thomas. And that was my first time to have hearts of palm. I'll never forget it. Never forget that. In first class. That's when first class was really nice, even if you didn't have to upgrade into your own little pod to get decent treatment. So it was really fun, and we're looking forward to traveling again. And I just wanted to have a quick entry into Travel Bistro. I hope if you are traveling, because some people are flying. We are definitely not ready to fly. Not sure when that will be. I don't want to be that close to anyone. I don't want to be that close to anyone in the grocery store or anywhere. So I want to be at least 6 feet apart, at least for now until Florida gets these numbers in hand, and they're not doing that. So I hope if you have any travel tips you want to share, let me know. You can contact me through our website. If you have any packing tips you want to share, please do so. And if you're traveling, be safe. But have fun. And go ahead, even if you're wearing a mask, go ahead and try to engage safely with the locals and find out where they go for dinner, where they go after hours. You will be surprised at what you can find out if you just let your guard down and open up. It's worth it. Travel on.